everyone. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And it's time once again
to recommend things.
Vince, may the recommending commence.
Alright, I recommend suffering. I recommend immense pain. Yep, there you go. Enjoy.
Suffer before my wrath.
Anyway.
That was actually quite frightening.
I recommend The Suffering.
Entirely different.
I don't know if this came out for any other system than the PS2, but I had a PS2, so I got the game. And it's a good game. You play a guy called Torque. You know, forgive the name. It sounds more like I'm trying to be epic than it sounds like an actual name. So here's this guy named Torque.
How much horsepower does he have?
He has a stable full of horses. There's Torque on the back. Maybe you can see him. But so old Torque here, he's imprisoned for the murder of his wife and kid. Now he claims that he's blacked out at this point, so he doesn't know exactly what happened to his wife and kid. Now the game plays out a lot like a movie would. So see, the trouble with movies and video games being anywhere near similar is that if you have a movie that's like a video game, then you have a movie that just has a lot of action sequences. You have a video game that's like a movie, then you have a video game that has a lot of cinematic sequences. So anyway, I think this is a worthwhile because they find a happy medium somewhere that makes you feel like you're appreciating a movie plot line, but you're still getting all of the hands-on gameplay and violence of a survival horror video game. Now, I would like to also say that I'm not a big fan of survival horror. I am not a big fan of survival horror. I find them quite tedious and boring. But this is not, because this is very much so an amalgamation of survival horror and first or third-person shooter. And it's kind of an adventure game. It's a lot less like I need to find the key to open the door to see if hell's on the other side. It's more of I need to get out of here.
Is it pretty horrifically violent?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So for those of you who are squeamish or potentially 17 or under, I don't recommend this for you. But I do recommend this for an audience that it is acceptable for. Now that we have our disclaimer, thank you.
Right. We're gonna have to start putting ratings on our recommends. This recommend is rated M for mature. I've figured that our viewers are smart enough to know that the rating's gonna have to change when we get to mine. Anyway,
I also kind of assume that if one of our viewers who are under 17 were to go to a store and say, "Hey, I want to buy this game," the guys would say, "Sorry." And our viewer probably would say, "But Vince from Geek Illusion said that I could buy it."
And it certainly wouldn't get us any extra subscribers.
And the guy would be like, "Oh, sorry, here you go, Vince."
Oh, of course, Vince from Geek Illusion, okay.
But, so, some interesting things about this.
Is he with you? Does he have an ID? Is he over 17?
Some interesting things about this game. It tells you how dark you should set your TV set when you start playing the game.
Interesting.
Because if you pull it up light enough, it's easier to see things. Why would you want to do that? Well, it tells you how dark it is so that they can put certain things in the shadows. Well, they don't just want to have characters appearing out of nowhere, but they don't necessarily... So you can ignore it if you'd rather just have a game where you walk around and shoot things and have something that's a little less frightening based. But you have a character... A lot of this happens basically at night. So you have a character who one of his essential things that he needs is a flashlight. And that's part of where the fear comes from, is you have a flashlight. So it makes sense to me.
Interesting.
And it just adds to your experience. But of course, if you prefer to alter your experience to your liking, you can turn up the brightness and see things for all they are in the darkness, as if you're a raccoon or something. But
or you just eat a lot of carrots.
So, I know when I want to see better, I just jam a carrot in my eye. I am so solid. But
in one eye.
Just one. The other one pops out just enough that I can see better. But Other things interesting about this game, Torque can turn into a monster at some point, and I'm not really ruining anything because it's on the back of the cover. So I think that's probably one of the more ridiculous things about the game. And personally, I choose not to turn into the monster I choose not to. I choose only to turn into it as few times as possible. And sometimes you just need to because you're in this big cluster hoo-ha and you can't get out. But
I hate it when that happens.
Another thing interesting about this game, the character gets opportunities to choose whether to be good, evil, or neutral. So there's a guy that you need to help. You can either help him, choose to just pass him by, or you can kill him, or something to that effect. And
or you can buy him a latte.
I'll buy him a lot of A's. But doing these things will result in a different ending, one of three endings, a good, a neutral, or an evil. So I've only ever seen the ending of one, and I'd like to go back and try these things. But yeah, negative things about this game, you end up fighting the same bad guys a lot. So after a while you think, well, here's the same guy. It's another level. You couldn't have come up with a different character. But beyond that, I do think it's a good game. I think it's worthwhile. And it is a fun story to let unfold.
Cool. Well, today I'm going to recommend something really silly. I'm going to recommend Star Trek 20Q, Vince. Star Trek 20Q. Have you ever played 20Q?
Not Star Trek 20Q.
But have you played 20Q?
I'm not entirely certain.
Well, it's just 20 questions. It's this cool little computer thing, and it asks you pick a thing, and then it asks you questions about the thing, and then, yes or no questions, and then you see if it can guess the thing that you thought of.
Oh, yeah.
It's that, right? Well, they did one for Star Trek last year as a tie-in to the new movie, but what's cool about it is that it's got stuff from all, 40 years of Trek before the new movie. And what's neat is the way they programmed these things, and they've got these for other things. They've got it for like Simpsons and Harry Potter. There's a few different licensed ones. And the way they did it is they set up a website and let people go in and try out the beta for it. And what they would do is if you if it didn't think of the thing that you were trying to think of, maybe it wasn't in the library yet, so you would actually submit that thing and get it put in the library. So fans got to go in and help program it.
Oh,
and I actually played with it several times before it came out, on the website, helping program it. So it was pretty neat. Us fans got to go in and play with it. And so the early days of this thing, it wasn't always real accurate. But as it went on, it got better and better, and it was really cool. But anyway, so you ask it questions, and here, let's do one real fast. Vince, think of something from Star Trek. Anything you know of from Star Trek?
All right.
Anything.
I don't know anything about it, but I'm going to say the Gorn.
The Gorn? Okay, we'll do the Gorn. That sounds good. Cool. So you know the Gorn, the big lizard guy from original series, from Arena. Is the Gorn a sentient being? Yes. Let's see how quick we can get through this.
Is it the Gorn? Yes.
Did it take the Starfleet entrance exam? No, because it's a Gorn. Let's see here. Is it in good relations with Starfleet? No. You know why? Because it's the Gorn. I keep telling it that, but it doesn't know. Does it have hair? No. You know why? Because it's a lizard thing. It's a Gorn. Has Picard seen it? No, although there was a novel in which he did, which was kind of interesting.
Huh.
Is it known for its physical strength? Yes. Oh man, I could probably have gotten this in 6 questions, Vince. Oh! It got it wrong. It thought it was the Kazon.
It was the Kazorn.
Wait, so I'm recommending this because it's so good at what it does. No, I probably answered a couple things not the way it wanted me to. Anyway, then what it does is it asks you like 5 more questions, and then you see if it gets it after that, is what it does. But it didn't get it right the first time, so.
Certainly somebody would have thought of the Gorn.
Oh, no, it would be in there. That would be one of the obvious ones, but I probably just answered a couple things not the way it would have wanted me to.
Humanoid? It's a big lizard. What do you mean humanoid?
But it's a lot of fun. You can put in all kinds of more obscure stuff if you're a big Trek fan. I've done all kinds of strange things.
So it's pretty neat. Anyway, it gets his feature a lot, which is funny. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching us recommend things. We'll recommend something for you once again next time. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
See you later.